Morning, YouTube. It's, let's see, Monday, November 9th. So, just wanted to follow up on yesterday's video. Try to do one of these a day or every other day. I know the video quality is not great, just doing them while I drive. You know, as we get further along, maybe we'll buy a camera, get some better lighting, so on and so forth. So, bear with us here. Anyway, so I just want to talk about how we got to where we are. We're, you know, not much happened over the weekend with the election fraud. We'll see what happens as the work week gets ramped up here. Rudy Giuliani had a press conference with some election workers that saw some irregularities. Project Veritas came out with a postal worker that was ordered from his, you know, supervisor to backdate ballots, so on and so forth. So it's just a total mess. We'll see what happens. But I want to talk today a little bit about how we got here. You know, regardless of the amount of fraud and fake ballots and all that, Joe Biden, it looks like, did have quite a bit of support, and that's pretty shocking to me. So I don't just want to get on here and dog all the Democrats and all the Biden supporters. I just kind of want to figure out where they're at in their support for a candidate like Joe Biden. He's, you know, the ultimate establishment candidate. And I thought we were going to move away from that, and Trump was going to be our catalyst for that. But it seems like a good amount of people are comfortable having a guy that's been in Washington for almost 50 years, and he's in the pocket of China and Ukraine and all these other places across the globe. And who knows domestically, you know, how many people are pulling his strings. But he's, like I said, the ultimate establishment. Warmonger, bailout for the big corporations. And I guess that's the direction the Democrat Party wants to go. They want to be the big corporate sponsor, big tech, censorship allowing party. And it amazes me that the quote-unquote liberals are on board with that. It really seems like the structure of the two main parties is kind of flipped. The Republicans are the working class party now, and the Democrats are the coastal elites, and it's shocking that they got as much support as they did. You know, I know a lot of it's the anti-Trump stuff, and, you know, maybe those anti-Trump voters wouldn't have been as encouraged to go vote if it wasn't so easy to just do it by mail. You know, if they had to stand in line and go vote for Biden, inspired by their hatred of Trump, would they have done it? I would tend to think no, but, you know, I was surprised at how much support he got all around, so what do I know? So, you know, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, the Democrat machine, they're going to be the COVID party, the lockdowns, the mask mandate, just total government intrusion. So I hope the moderate Democrats are ready for that. You know, COVID was supposed to be a 2-week situation. The government's going to tell you what to do for a couple weeks, try and help out the hospitals, and that was going to be it. And, you know, here we are, 9 months later. It's just a mess. So, like I said, I hope the moderates are ready for that. You know, and the Republican Party is, they're going to have to reorganize here. We're going to have to figure out who's going to be behind Trump in fighting this election fraud. And we need to, as a people, keep a good eye on our local representatives to see who's in Trump's corner on this. And vote accordingly next time. So the censorship of big tech is obviously just out of control, and it baffles me that over the last 4 years, the Trump team wasn't able to really do something about it. I don't know if it was a blind spot for Trump, you know, because he's a little older and he's not the internet guy. I don't know, but it's got to change. I mean, these are the things that happen in socialist and communist country. They just control the information. They don't allow news to get out, and that's how they control people. And I think that's a big reason why Biden had so much support, because the media machine has been anti-Trump since he came down the escalator. You know, because he told the truth. He was going to expose all the corporate fraud, all the media fraud, the Washington fraud, and it really scared them. And they were successful in convincing a large portion of the American people that Trump was just a bad guy. You know, he's a racist, he's a misogynist, xenophobic. They call the guy Hitler. So where is the critical thinking on the left? Where are the critical thinkers that are not brainwashed by this media machine? I know Trump's not perfect, but he's anti-war. He's pro-free speech. I mean, those are liberal talking points. At least they used to be. But now Biden will get in and we'll be bombing in Syria and God knows where else. So those poor troops that thought they were coming home by Christmas, they can forget about that. They might come home briefly, but they're heading back out, along with a bunch more. That's really unfortunate. You know, we had peace deals breaking out all over the Middle East, and, you know, even if they were just paper tiger peace deals, which that's a whole nother story. But we're heading in the right direction. And Biden is promised with his phone and a pen on day one to reverse a lot of the great work that Trump has done. Hopefully with our Senate majority, you know, we can stop some of this stuff, but the federal government, specifically the presidency, has been given so much power with these executive orders and on and on. They're just too powerful. The executive branch of the government is just way too powerful. And it affects all of us. You know, so back to the censorship. We'll see what happens with Section 230. I don't think they need to repeal the whole thing. It does offer some good protection to some small startups and stuff like that, but they just need to make it a First Amendment issue. And if companies and corporations in the United States are not going to allow your First Amendment right, then they need to be held liable financially. But, you know, part of that is they'll just say, you know, the big tech companies, they'll say, okay, they'll move to the Cayman Islands where the First Amendment, you know, doesn't affect them. It's an American constitutional issue. Hopefully there's some smart people in Washington that can get it figured out. I'm beginning to lose faith. The Trump team came out last night and said he's going to start doing rallies again while this court case gets fought out. I think that's great. I mean, that's Trump's wheelhouse, and if he can get the support out there, and I'm sure he'll have bigger crowds than ever. So we'll see if it has any effect. But, you know, we need to be the Paul Revere's now. We need to be out doing the legwork, supporting Trump, you know, donating, you know, whatever you can, even if it's a few bucks to his legal fund. Calling your local representatives. You'll never get them on the phone, but you need to leave them voicemails. You can just DuckDuckGo their office phone numbers and their local office, their office in Washington. Just keep calling them. So we'll see what happens. Today is Monday. I'm sure there'll be a lot of juicy stuff getting these lawsuits filed, and it should be an exciting week. All right, we'll pick it back up tomorrow.